Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, and today we have my review of the horror sci-fi classic, Alien, directed by Ridley Scott. And before we get into the video, I hope everyone had a great Christmas or New Year's, depending on when this comes out. I imagine it'll be before New Year's, but yeah, I hope everyone had a great Christmas. I hope everyone got everything they wanted, and everyone spent some good time with their family, as everyone deserves. And now we can move on from this horrible year and get on with 2021. But yeah, like I said, review for Alien today, and I now have my TV, which I should have a picture of on screen right now, of my new wonderful movie nights, which it will probably provide me with a bit more motivation. Now I don't have to sit here on this, you can't see it, but this comfortable ass chair with my massive headphones on to watch a movie. I can actually relax as well as make my notes for when I watch one for a review. But yeah, there will be spoilers in this video, and yeah, with that said, let's get straight into it. So obviously this movie is iconic for a reason, and I say that because, of course, there are movies that everyone loves that I hate, and I'm not going to say here because I don't want all the hate just yet, I'm not prepared, but there are movies that everyone hates that I love, and that everyone loves that I hate. That's just how it is. Movies, they depend on people's opinions, that's fine. That's part of the reason they're so interesting to me. Like, everyone sees them differently, people can take different things from films, people can just enjoy them more or less. But for me, I pretty much have the same opinion as everyone else for this film. I love it. This movie is brilliant. Even though it came out in 1979, it holds up in almost every aspect. It's one of the best looking films I've ever seen in my entire life, and I didn't realise that. Maybe it's with my new wonderful HD TV, but generally, before, I didn't realise how good looking this film was, despite its time. Something about Ridley Scott in his films, he brings this look that burns images into my mind, and the same thing can be said about Prometheus and Alien Covenant. And don't get me wrong, other movies in this franchise do look good. Aliens looks good, from what I remember, and yeah, it's just but Ridley Scott makes different imagery for me, and it just burns into my mind, and I don't think any of these shots will ever go. The opening of this film is eerily quiet, but it sets up the tone perfectly, with the amazing music and how the title slowly appears with parts of the letters coming up slowly. It just sets the tone impeccably. And when you think about it, the opening of this film is silent, in terms of dialogue I mean, and there's a bit of visual storytelling there. There's a fair bit of visual storytelling in this film, which I really appreciate, because sometimes loads of exposition can really bog down a film, make it longer than it has to be, make it more boring than it has to be, and I just appreciate that. It's nice to see a film as a visual medium. Like, we see Kane getting up, we see this signal, we don't know it's a distress signal straight away, of course it gets cleared up a few minutes later, but still, it's all very interesting and very nicely done. One thing that I feel is often overlooked, and I don't say that like I'm trying to be a movie expert, because I'm not. I'm 16 years old, man. Come on, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to have a good time. I'm interested in film, alright? Hopefully one day I can claim to be a movie expert, but that day is not today. But what I was going to say is, something that I haven't seen as mentioned is the realism, and of course I'm sure people have mentioned it, and I know people have mentioned it, but this film is so realistic to me. I think from the second we see all the characters, we believe they are a crew that have been together before. They know each other somewhat, even if they're not the closest friends, we still know they know each other. We feel their chemistry, we believe the situation that they are in. From little lines like complaining about the food, how they've been in space for so long, and all of that stuff, it all just looks great. And each character has individual personalities and traits, and we don't really get backstory for any of them, which just proves that you don't need backstory to make a character. A lot of the time, yeah, backstory is great if it impacts who they are today, and we need it explained, but sometimes we don't. Sometimes we need something as simple as this, just unique personalities, people that change, and people that are memorable, and that we care about. That makes it all the worse seeing them get picked off. I mean, I love Parker, aside from Ripley, because I fucking love Ripley so much. Parker is probably my favourite character in this film. he's just so funny. He's so memorable.
You dig it, man. I'm telling you, I've eaten worse food than this, but then I taste is better. You know what I'm saying? The other one over there.
You pound down the stuff like this.
Listen, I'd rather be eating something else, but right now I'm sticking to food.
You just know what it's made of.
No, Dad.
The curiosity of the crew when they land on the aliens' planet, I don't remember the name and I apologise, but in particular Kane, when they enter the ship, matches perfectly with the audience, because we, on a first watch, we don't know what this is. I mean, we know there's probably going to be an alien on there, but we don't know what, we don't know how it's going to happen. We're just curious, like, we are on edge. But we also want Kane to go down there and see those eggs, because we don't know what these are. We want to see them, like, properly. So it matches perfectly. His curiosity to go down and stand over one of the eggs matches with us, because we want to know what's going on. Even though I've seen this film before, there were a fair few scares that actually got me, which I was surprised at, honestly. I didn't remember it making me jump before, and I always loved that in a movie. You know, I love it when it actually scares you, when it's not just loud noise, when it's an actual jump scare that impacts the story, and that's just thanks to great timing, build-up and pacing. The two reveals towards the end, the first being the company sees the crew as expendable and want the creature back by any means necessary, is heartbreaking. And even though I knew that was the case, it was still heartbreaking to see Sigourney Weaver's amazing reaction. By the way, all the casts are great in this film, but you already knew that. But yeah, it's just heartbreaking to see. And then the following reveal, when everyone else is dead and Ripley is escaping, we think it's all over. The alien is still on her escape pod ship thing. That is also another heartbreaking moment. And yes, I've seen it before, but still, it's horrible to see her reaction, and it actually made me jump when the alien flung his hand out at her. But yeah, it's all timed to perfection, and it was still terrifying and shocking. As for flaws, there's a few scenes with pretty bad dubbing, and the alien's growth is probably the main thing for me. It's kind of unbelievable that he comes from that incredible chest burster scene, by the way. Iconic, absolutely amazing.
Oh, God!
But that he would grow from that little tiny thing to such the massive alien that he is. That's just kind of unbelievable for me. Otherwise, I think the film is pretty much perfect. Despite that flaw with the alien, the way the alien looks, how terrifying and amazing and beautiful it looks, it kind of fixes it for me. Like, it doesn't bother me that much. So because of that, I still give Alien a 10 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. I decided to go back and watch Alien last night because I've been playing Alien Isolation, which you can go and check out some of the footage on my second channel, which will be on the end screen. And I've been really loving that game, and I'll probably have a video on this channel about the game at some point. But yeah, been loving it, wanted to go back and watch the film, and I loved that too. I may have a video up before New Year's, I'm not entirely sure. I may try and get a video out for the Jodie Whittaker's first New Year's special resolution, but whether I will or not, I don't know. I've still got schoolwork to do and all of that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of Alien in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in a friendly discussion down below. Thanks guys, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.